So welcome guys to today's keynote. It's called So You Think You Can Brand. Okay? And it's all about personal branding and lead generation on LinkedIn. Now I want to just ask, how many of you here, by show of hands, is launching their own or thinking about launching their own personal brand? Personal brand. Okay, nice. So there's lots of ladies in here and a gentleman who are launching their own personal brands. And that's a good thing, right? But before we need to get started, has everyone taken the survey? Everybody scanned? So those of you with iPhones, it's as simple as opening your camera and just scanning the code and it'll take you to the survey. For those of you with Androids, you can lean your neck over and watch what the people with iPhones are doing. Right? So this short survey, you can also just go to bit.ly/ff Moshe. So that's Future Females Moshe, and it'll take you to a survey because I want to find out a little bit more about what the people in this room, there's about 55 of us here, and I want to find out what the people in this room are struggling with when it comes to personal branding. So you can do that throughout the talk. It's literally one question for you to answer. All right. So today we are going to be looking at the difference between marketing and branding. Can anybody tell me what the difference between those two are? Very quickly. You can just shout it out. Just raise your hand and shout it out.
Marketing is for a product, branding is for your image or yourself.
Marketing is for your product and branding is for your image or for yourself. That's a good answer. Anybody else? Come on. Yes?
Branding is like the name that you remember afterwards, and marketing is like how to spread it so that people
Branding is about the name you remember, and marketing is about how to spread it. So that's a very good point that you've made there, because the difference, even though they sound like they're the same, branding is what you are about, and marketing is how you get the word out about it. Okay? So when we talk about brands like Nike, like Adidas, like Gucci, right? Some of you in here are trying to come up with brand names that people will remember long after they bought your product, because branding goes beyond the promotion that you see, the adverts that you see on social media, in print, on radio, on television, right? The brand is what you stand for. The brand is the promise that you're making to your customers or to your target audience about what you're going to deliver, what you're going to fulfill. Are we all together on that point, right? So marketing is how you get the word out, but branding is who you are and what you stand for. It's very important for us to get the difference between this, because marketing a lot of the times is very short term. Okay? You've got a product or your service that you're trying to get out there. You do it for a few weeks or a few months or a few days, maybe over a year or so, and after that you move on to the next campaign. But branding is constant. Right? Branding, what you stand for as a brand, needs to be constant today, it needs to be constant 5 years from now, 10 years from now. There should be consistency in what your brand stands for. Right? So branding is long term and marketing is short term. Now, you need to understand as well that when it comes to branding, people are not so much buying the product, they're buying the person behind it. Okay? So I'll give you another example. When you go to the restaurant, even though the food might be great, if the waitress gives you bad service, that's what you're going to remember about the brand. Yeah? That's what you're going to remember about the brand. So if you were at a restaurant, as much as food or whatever it is you're selling is your core product, the training of the people, your wait staff, your manager, the maitre d' who meets them at the entrance, the training of those people is paramount, ensuring that how people feel about your brand remains positive going forward. Okay? So they're buying the person behind the brand. And the reason I'm bringing this point up is because a lot of us here are trying to build personal brands. And the reason why I'm trying to have you focus on the person is because if you can master your personal image, it won't matter what you're selling. It won't matter what you're selling because people trust the person behind it. They trust that that person will stay true to their brand values, to their convictions, that they won't break their promises, that they won't deliver shoddy work. Okay? So when it comes to personal branding, it's not so much about the branding, but it's more about the person. If you can crack that, then it doesn't matter what you put your name behind. And that's how you get situations like sort of influencer marketing. Influencer marketing is simply personal branding writ large. Okay? So you take one person who has built up trust and brand equity over many, many years, and then you put them behind a product. So they're marketing the product, but that's because they mastered their branding, right? So, they buy the person and not the product. And the reason why it's also so important for you to master that is because you need to be a constant font of value. When it comes to your personal brand, we talk about value over sales, we talk about conversations over conversions. This is one of the things that we talked about on Thursday, together with Lauren. Okay? Conversations over conversions. You need to be obsessed with helping people. Whether they buy from you or not, it needs to be something that you think about, that keeps you up at night. How can I improve the lives of other people? Let me ask you something. What would you guys, and you don't have to answer this, this is a question for you. What would you do for free? I want you to think about that for a second. What would you do for free? Something that you're good at, that you wouldn't mind giving away for free. Because your personal branding depends on you being the kind of person who is so interested in bettering the lives of others that then transfers or translates into whatever it is you're selling. Because then you have that conviction to help people, regardless of what it is you're selling. Be a font of value. Be a teacher first. Be a teacher first. If you're an auditor or an accountant, you need to be so ready and willing to help people with their finances, with their budgeting, with their tax. You can sell that as a product, as a service, but it needs to be something that if you're sitting next to someone, you inherently have to help them with that stuff. Because that's what your brand is all about. Be a teacher first. Be someone who throws off value by the truckload. When people are around you, they just get so much value just from being around you. It won't matter then if you decide to sell them something down the line, because they know they can trust you. They know that you've got their best interests at heart. And that's the essence of personal branding. You stand for something, and people can trust that you will always deliver. Right? So be a font of value. Now, this is a fun little game I like to play. What is your one-liner? The one line that describes you. I'll give you an example. My one-liner is, I help build brilliant brands. That's my one-liner. It's in my bio, it's on my LinkedIn. I help build brilliant brands. What's your one-liner, man? You help people find property. Awesome. Sir, what's your one-liner? It's not an easy question to answer. Right. Because a lot of us have never consciously thought about what our mission is. So if you try to build a personal brand, what do you stand for? That's the purpose of this question. What's your one-liner? What's the one line if you had only 1 second in an elevator with a president somewhere you need to pitch yourself, you can get that out in 5 seconds or less. What is your one line? Lauren, what's your one line?
Help people create things.
You help people create things. Okay. What type of thing?
Their businesses that do.
Okay. Do you help people create clothes?
I help them figure out how to do it.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that.
So you help people create businesses, right? You help them find financial freedom. What's your one line, Matt? Yeah. Yes. What's your one line?
I help people to discover that they can learn anything and master it.
Okay, that's a beautiful one-liner. And once you have that one-liner, everything else you do will flow from that. Because you've got something guiding you as you build your personal brand, as you reach out to customers, as you build products and services that you're then going to market. But you need to understand what your brand is all about. Okay, so Nike has a one-liner. eBay has a one-liner. Amazon, Facebook has a one-liner. Connecting the world. Right? Nokia. What is Nokia's one-liner? You guys still remember? No, just Nike. That's a slogan. What's Nokia's one-liner? They said it all the time in their ads. It's 2 words. Nokia. Connecting people. That's it. That's the one-liner. connecting people to future females. That's her one-liner. That's Adele's one-liner. So as we move along, and as I take you through this talk, I want you guys to think on that. What is it that you stand for? What is your one-liner? Okay? Because once you figure that out, everything else is a cakewalk. Well, not a cakewalk, but you get what I'm saying. Right. So figure out your one-liner because that will inform everything that you do. So, on to today's topic, we're talking about personal branding on LinkedIn. Okay? How you present yourself on LinkedIn, how you build a brand on LinkedIn, how you generate leads and drum up business and do sales on LinkedIn. Okay? But the first thing that you need to look out for is your photo. If we're talking about images, personal branding, the image that you put up, the pixels, that matters a lot. One of the mistakes that I see a lot on LinkedIn is people who use Facebook type of photos. So they're taking selfies. That's not professional. LinkedIn is the world's #1 professional website, professional platform. And so everything you do, everything you say needs to be professional. You need to be putting your best foot forward. So there's some do's and don'ts on the type of images that you pick. Don't pick anything you wouldn't want plastered on a billboard. Avoid anything you wouldn't want your mom to see. Right? Smile more. Because you're much more approachable that way. Don't put anything racy, don't put anything nude or blue. You don't even have to be complicated. It's as simple as you in a tux or in a blazer against the background. That's it. Right? Professional, simple, classy, straight to the point. Okay? Now let me show you some examples. This is a photo I shot recently, a series of photos I shot recently. She's a board member at one of the SOEs in Namibia. Some of you here might be familiar with them. Right? Now, let me tell you something. If you wanted to design a company brochure or an annual report, which of these photos would you put? The last one. Right? When we look at this photo, what does it say? What's the one word that pops out? Stay away. Standoffish, aloof, right? What about this one? Why does this one not work so well? She seems unsure, right? You don't have to be ashamed of it because you see, the image that you use on LinkedIn will evoke certain emotions in people. As soon as they see your photo, a word is going to pop into their head, and that word, that first impression, will determine how they treat your brand going forward. And as we all know, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression, right? So make your first impression count. And the way you do that is through the photo that you use. It's very important. If you can't take a good photo, get a professional photographer to shoot you. Rather invest in your personal brand than harm yourself unknowingly by using a substandard photo. Okay? I'll give you another example. This guy's an advocate. I shot it recently as well. Now, if you I probably shouldn't have said I just shot a lawyer. But that actually was going to feed into my next example. So, if you were in a murder trial, okay, whether or not you did it, whether it was accidental or not, whether you managed to throw away the weapon, you are in a murder trial. Which of these lawyers would you trust to get you out of that rut? This first one. Really? The middle one. The last one. Yes. What are you looking for in your lawyer? Confidence, professional, attitude. So expertise, no. You must have be very good. Oh, Your Honor, you look good today. You want someone who's confident, who's going to walk in, who's going to win. Right? Because you're trying to get out of that case. You're trying to beat the case. Which of these lawyers look like they're going to win? This last one. So if he was trying to build a personal brand on LinkedIn, as a lawyer, as an advocate, a solicitor, a barrister, because he wants to engender that emotion of confidence, of expertise, of being a winner, he depicts that last photo. It's the same guy, the same man, but different photos evoke different emotions. So think about what it is that you want to evoke when it comes to your personal branding on LinkedIn. Do you want to come off as authoritative? Do you want to come off as warm and approachable? And that will depend, of course, on what field or what industry you're in. What do you want to come across as? A social worker is going to have a wildly different type of photograph from a lawyer, from an engineer, from an IT technician, from a comedian, right? So it matters. Now, this is an example of how your LinkedIn will look. I took the screenshot. This is an example of how my LinkedIn profile looks like. So I've got that photo over there, and you also have a chance on LinkedIn to create a banner at the back, so it's excellent ad space. That's where you then put maybe the logo or what your business stands for, where they can find you, right? And depending on what business you operate, you can put much more information there, so that's like your banner. Think of it as your LinkedIn, your personal LinkedIn billboard, right? And so you've got your name here, and then you've got your one-liner here. Okay? Now the one-liner, you can have different formats. One of the popular current formats is having divisions of what it is that you do or what you are. So mine, for example, says PhD Informatics and Social Media, because I want people to understand that I did informatics and I'm passionate about using data to make good decisions, and I specialize in social media, and that's what I help brands with. Okay? And you can have, I did a TEDx talk, so I put TEDx speaker there, because I want to communicate that speaking is something I'm passionate about. Right? And then you have creative director and social media. So creative director is what I do, and that's my company name. Now, in this space, you can also have your one-liner. I help build brilliant brands. I help people find their property. I help people know that they can learn anything they want. I help people find financial freedom through building businesses. I help connect women through future females. Okay? So depending on what format you want to put in, this is the one line that is going to introduce you. And I'll show you how that works. So when you, as you go around the website, as you comment, you post, you will have your photo, your name, and your one-liner. And that's all people have to go on you. If there's a comment thread and there's 300 comments, what is going to make you stand out from all those people? How is your one-liner going to grab attention? I believe it was David Ogilvy who said that for every marketing dollar that you spend, 80% of it is the headline. Okay? 80% of it is the headline. So if you look at a newspaper front page, the only thing that will make you pick up and will buy that newspaper is the headline. Right? That's why they're always salacious. Man sleeps with 2 women under a bridge. Ah, right. Right? They must grab your attention. And that's exactly what you have to do on LinkedIn as well. Your one-liner is so important because that's what's going to determine why people want to connect with you. Right? So, he, for example, has Bachelor of Engineering Honors Civil Engineering candidate at Stellenbosch. So what he's trying to communicate is that he's really good at civil engineering and he's a student and he graduated from Stellenbosch. Because that's important for you to know. Because Stellenbosch carries a cachet. Right? The name Stellenbosch means something. Cape Town, Rhodes, Harvard, Cambridge, University of Norway. It's a big difference. Okay? So what is it that you're trying to communicate? One of my favorite photographers in Namibia, Sean van Eden, I think some of you know him here. He makes really, really good photography. I love his work. And look at what his one-liner is. International award-winning lifestyle and commercial photographer, Creative Lab. International. So whether you're in London, Paris, Berlin, or Windhoek, he's available for work. Award-winning. He's really good at what he does. And he's won some awards, right? So it's value signaling. Don't be afraid to blow your own trumpet on LinkedIn. That's what it's there for. But you need to understand there's a difference between expertise and ego. Right? So you want to communicate that you've got expertise and that you can offer value to your clients. But check your ego at the door. Okay? So international award-winning lifestyle and commercial photographer at Creative Lab. And then you have your about section here. Sean van Eden is a photographer based in Windhoek, Namibia. He's got a whole bunch of stuff about what he does, what kind of photography he's into. Okay? So to give people more information about why they should pick him over all of his competitors. Another thing LinkedIn allows you to do as you're building a personal brand is to add links. So these links can be white papers or reports that you've written. They can be links to newspaper articles about yourself. So every time you get mentioned in the news, make sure you add that link to your profile. Okay? So it's like your own personal PR dashboard. Yeah? So put links about all the work. If you were featured on YouTube, for example, there's a link somewhere to you, put it there. Make it easy for people to find out more about you, what you do, and why they should pick you over everybody else. Are we together on this? Okay? So you will notice that Sean as well, that's his photo, and that's his banner. So Creative Lab Photography. It looks nice. Make sure you're not using the generic banner on LinkedIn, right? Be creative a little bit, get a graphic designer to do it for you. I was speaking to a lady in the elevator on the way here, and she's a graphic designer, right? Yeah, there she is. So you can speak to her, she's over there. Just raise your hand so everybody can see here. There's A. Okay? So you can speak to her and get your own personal banner design. Then as you scroll down, so I took a mobile screenshot of this to show you how it's going to look like because we live in a mobile first world. Okay? So you can add your experience on LinkedIn, what it is that you've done beforehand. So one thing I think I need to make clear is that LinkedIn is like your online CV. Are we all agreed on that? See, LinkedIn is your online CV. We are quickly moving into a world where paper CVs are going to become obsolete. And as I like to say, if they can't find you online, you don't exist. Okay? So LinkedIn is literally something you can build up. That's where you build your personal brand on. But by adding everything that you've done and all your accolades and accomplishments and awards, then that allows you to just be able to send a link to everybody who wants to know more about you. It's as simple as that. You don't have to carry and print papers and print CVs. Find me on LinkedIn. Okay, so LinkedIn is very important if you're trying to build a brand on. Yes?
Sorry, I have a question. I'm always a bit confused between, let's say you have two professions, or you have your full-time job, degree situation, and then you have something you do on the side. Two completely different industries,
Right.
but both very important to you. Do you put them both on your LinkedIn? Do you create two different accounts? Because does it appear that maybe you're doing too much and you're unfocused when it's more than one thing, or can you just sort of mash it all in there and sort of create your brand and say, I'm a jack of not all trades, but many trades? Excuse me?
So her question is, if you do two different things that are wildly different but they're important to you, do you put them on LinkedIn or do you create two separate accounts? I would never recommend creating two separate accounts on LinkedIn, okay? Because then you're fragmenting your personal brand. But what is it that you want to be known for? Which one is more important to you? I do many different things as well. Everybody does a lot of different things. We are all multifaceted individuals. But there is a way to structure all your interests and all your services and all your offerings into one unified brand. It's difficult, absolutely.
I'm a real estate agent, and I'm a qualified PR. So I want to focus on things but then I also give training to real estate agents. So how do I fit it? It's all real estate work.
Exactly. So there's no division there. If you're a valuer and you do real estate and you offer training in real estate, everything is property, 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 property. That's one brand. You're doing just fine. It would be different if you offer corporate leadership training and you design and sell lingerie on the side. Who said that there's something wrong with you being the jack of all trades?
At the master of none, because you can't be master of
I disagree. But we'll take questions afterwards, right? Let's finish the talk first. So he's got all he's a professional photographer, creative lab. It also allows you to say when you start, so just like a CV, when you started, how many years you've been working at it, head of design at Advantage Wine Art Namibia, designers, even creators, freelancer, retail designers. So the more experience you can show, the easier it is for people to ascertain how much experience you have, how much of an expert you are in your field. So again, just like you would have on a normal CV, what do you want people to know you for? The good thing about LinkedIn is you have an almost unlimited space. You can put anything you've ever done. But as much as possible, try and unify, try and pick the most important, try and prioritize which aspects of your history or of your experience that you want to showcase to the world. Okay? And then you also have your option to add education, where he went to school, the years he went there. You might want to be someone who's an alumnus of where you went to school. And that could be the one thing that tips them over to you and say, hey, yeah, we went to the same school. I think I want to connect with this person on LinkedIn. Okay? LinkedIn also allows you to have your featured skills and endorsements. So what is it that you're good at? And as some of you know, on LinkedIn you can actually search for and apply for jobs. Right? So and those jobs will have a set of skills that you're looking for. So the more of those skills that you have on your profile that are matched with the job, the more likely you are to be considered. So he does lifestyle photography, commercial photography, studio photography. He's got about 30 more skills. So these skills could range from sales, they could range from his proficiency with Microsoft Office or the Adobe Suite. So all the skills that you can do, you list them and you put them on LinkedIn. And then we also have a section for recommendations. And we'll get to this a little bit later, I'll show you how that works. But recommendations are powerful because as we all know, we make our decisions based on what other people think about what it is that we want to acquire. Alright? Someone tells me, hey, that restaurant is great food. I trust them, and so I trust their recommendation. That'll be the reason I go to that restaurant. If someone who's close to me tells me that place has terrible service, you can be sure I'm not going to be spending my money there. So it is imperative for you to get recommendations, especially from people you've worked with. If you do a workshop, a training, get those people to rate you on how it is that you've done on LinkedIn, to give you recommendations. Right? If you've worked with a client and you just completed a sale or a deal, have them rate the experience so that other people can see that and go, yes, he's vetted or she's verified. She's certified legit. Right. So he got a recommendation from Nadia Doberstein, Managing Director of Wellman & Co. And it will even indicate when the recommendation was given and what the relationship was between the person recommending you and yourself. Right? And there's lots of options for that. Again, like I said, I'll show you in a bit. Then you can also put your accomplishments. So this is what I was talking about earlier on, that you can look at LinkedIn as your own personal PR dashboard. Right? All the accomplishments, if you won any award, you link them here. Any projects you've worked on, you put them here. Okay. The courses you've done, the honors you've gotten. So he was a gold winner, the Graphis Annuals Awards. He went to Vega, he studied a course. Most of you know that the Vega is School of Advertising in South Africa. And then you also need to have your contact details. So there'll be a link to your profile, your website, if you've got one, as part of your personal brand. It's very important to list that here. So people can also just go straight to your website, and then your phone number. Now that's a personal decision. Some of you don't want to have your phone number in public. Some of you, that's how you get business, so you have to put it in. The same way you put it on your CV. Alright? And then the interests, so what type of topics and other brands that he's interested in, you can list those as well. And you can see also here it says causes Sean cares about. Because more and more, businesses are looking at what do you do in your free time? What do you volunteer? How do you contribute to your community, to society? And you can add those causes here. So animal welfare, children, disaster, and humanitarian relief, the environment, if it's gender-based violence, if it's female entrepreneurship, right, child psychology, all of those things can potentially reform anything that you have an interest in, you can list it here. Because it helps people to know more about you. I used to design CVs, and I'd see people would put interests or causes like swimming, reading, going out with friends. Everybody likes that stuff. So put something substantive there. Now, when it comes to lead generation on LinkedIn, again, your mentality needs to be one of value before sales. Value. It's so important for you to be a font of value. Anybody here knows what lead generation is? Yes. What is lead generation? Tell us.
Setting up the right people that you want to be, that you want people to meet you, that you can turn into income at the end of the day.
That you can turn into income. Okay, so it's not so much them leading you, it's them following the customer journey. Right? Anybody else have a definition for what lead generation is?
Identify yourself
onto business. Okay? Yes?
So you can measure at the end your return on investment of the value that you've invested when that turns into sales.
Measure the return of value that you invested that turns into sales. So lead generation is about finding, attracting prospective customers, what they call leads, and taking them through a carefully designed customer buying journey all the way up until where they make a sale and become advocates for your brand. Okay, that's lead generation in a nutshell. You get a bunch of people and then you take them through a customer journey. Anybody here know what a sales funnel is? Some of you here work in sales. Yeah? So your sales funnel looks like a funnel. We'll get to that in a bit. So you have a whole bunch of people at the top, and you take them through a customer journey where you just bombard them with value, reasons why they should buy, and then right at the bottom of the funnel, that's where the sale happens. Right. So, lead generation on LinkedIn, you have to engage. You have to engage. Because value comes from people. Profits come from people. So you have to engage. You need to be active on LinkedIn. You need to comment on the right groups, find the right people to follow, engage with them. Have topics that you find either online or that you've spoken about. You give that to your followers, to your audience, and you engage with them. Engaging on LinkedIn also means that you don't ignore DMs. Appropriate DMs. Because some people think LinkedIn is Tinder. Okay? So you engage on LinkedIn with people. Because the more you engage with them, the more they trust you. The more they trust you, the easier it is for you to then sell whatever it is that you're offering, product or service. Social media comes down to you being social. It's about engagement first. Conversations before conversions. With lead generation, some of the tactics that you can use for lead generation is to offer trials, offers, and discounts. Now I know there's some people in here who have almost gone broke because discount offered them a taste of something. Right? A facial product, cologne or perfume. Maybe you walk into a store and they say, hey, just try out this one little thing. And you try it out, you like it, and then you make it, and then you buy it. That's what you sales. Or you buy those women magazines and there's a sample of something in their fragrance. Yeah. It was a very pained laugh just now. That person lost a lot of money from Cosmo. Okay? So you offer trials, offers, and discounts. That's how sales works. You give people a taste because people are going to be skeptical. Especially if they don't know you, especially if your personal brand is not proven. Okay? So you need to give people a small reason and say, hey, before you commit to this product or service that I'm offering, that I'm trying to sell you, have a taste. 3-day trial. 1-month trial. You guys have heard of the 30-day trial. Very popular on the internet. They give you a 30-day trial on Netflix. They give you a 30-day trial on Spotify. On iTunes, they give you, what is it, 3 months when you buy your phone? The idea is to get you hooked to the product. Hooked! And then when you can't live without your music, here's your credit card. Right? So offer people trials, discounts, for whatever it is you're selling. Find a way to take a very small aspect of whatever it is you're selling and give that as a sample. We live in Namibia. If those of you have ever been to Kapana, they're masters at this. Masters. You walk by and go, sister, come taste. Brother, come taste. They know you're hungry. You walk by, you pick up that one piece of meat. It's flavorful, it's savory. It goes down. Then you buy 50 bucks, you buy for $100. That's lead generation. They're just not sitting here with us, but they've been doing lead generation since. Right. So figure out a way to nail that aspect of lead generation and apply it and scale it to your business. So with email newsletters, that's another form of lead generation. We talked about the sales funnel earlier on, and what that is essentially is you get a lot of prospects at the top. That's where the marketing comes in, right? So you attract people to your brand, to your website. You give them maybe a small taste. You say, hey, do you want to learn more tips about how to get a clear skin? Download this ebook. And you land on the website, and what do they ask for? Your email address and your first name, right? And you give them that, and you get your ebook. They've already given you value. They haven't sold you anything yet. but they have already become a font of value for you. Now that they have your email address, you go on a list or a database. You'll probably get your first email within 48 hours. Hey, thank you for signing up. We hope you're enjoying so and so and so products. If you want to learn more about ABC, check out these resources on their website. And so you go there, and you get lost in the maze. That's the customer journey now, right? And you're reading and you're consuming, and the more you're consuming more information about the brand, the more endeared you are to it. The customer journey is so important for you to understand where your customer is in the customer journey. Right? Are they considering buying? Are they actively about to purchase? Have they already bought and now you need to go into retention and loyalty? These are all aspects of the sales process. Okay, so email newsletters is an excellent way for lead generation. You can put out information. Again, this goes back to engaging. So you see that someone is having a problem with something on LinkedIn, you get in touch with them, you say, hey, you can hit me up either via DMs or send me an email. You send you an email, you help them out. But now, when you want to do, so I'll give you another example. Here, Adele invites you to a workshop about LinkedIn lead generation, Facebook and Twitter. And you're all coming, you're all enjoying, and you're all getting all this value that we're just throwing out. She's got your names and your email addresses and your phone numbers. And when the next time she's trying to do a workshop for future females, she has a ready-made cauldron of people. And the idea is, if you were interested in this workshop, wait till you see the next one. Right? Yeah. Lead generation. Give value to get something in return, but you have to give first. Be interested in people. At the end of the day, that's what personal branding boils down to. All business, all sales, you need to be inherently invested in helping people. You're trying to solve a problem. What problem are you trying to solve? If your business disappeared, if your personal brand disappeared today, who would be inconvenienced? And if you can't find the answer to that question, that means you're not really solving the problem. Okay? So be interested in people, be interested in their problems, because people's problems bring profit. There's a lot of P's in there. People, problems, profits. But you need to be interested in people first. And you need to find a way to solve their problems before they will make you any profits. Now, to get you started on this, I understand that not everybody can write. One thing I mentioned also, that I forgot to mention on LinkedIn is a platform for thought leadership. You guys know what thought leadership is? What's thought leadership, Anastasia? Anybody know what thought leadership is? Yes.
I guess because we attended the lecture
On Thursday, yeah.
It wasn't Lauren or was it you, but thank you for that. It's being, when you are doing promoting personal branding, having opinions about things that matter.
Yes.
And speaking them out or writing them down. And
Yes.
that's when people can read them and follow and relate or not to them.
So having thoughts, perspectives, and opinions about a topic that people care about, that is relevant, and writing them down or speaking on them. So thought leadership can take many forms. On LinkedIn, one of the popular ways for you to engage in thought leadership is to write posts and to write articles. So if you're in real estate, you can write down your thoughts on the property industry in Namibia. Okay? If you are a graphic designer, you can write down your thoughts on client sales processes and payments and what the new tools are. If you're a photographer like Sean, you can write down your thoughts on where the future of photography is heading to. If you're into software development, how is AI going to upend? If you're into innovation, if you're into leadership, we all have gold in our heads. We need to get it out. Okay, that's what we spoke about on Thursday. So thought leadership is about getting what's in here out there so that other people can see it. And the more you engage in thought leadership, the more of the authority that you build on that particular topic. So you become known as an expert in that. And the moment you decide to sell anything, it's a cakewalk because people have trusted you over time. Right? So to get everybody started, Adele asked me to prepare something for the future females, a small package to help everybody who's trying to build their personal brand on LinkedIn to get started. Right? I call it your LinkedIn starter package. Right? So what you're going to get, because I do photography, I've got a studio, so you get a studio headshot, a profile write-up. I showed you an example of how that looks like on LinkedIn. Depending on what it is that you do, your headline and bio, we craft a killer bio for you. An attention-grabbing headline. Something that's going to make you stand out on LinkedIn. Right? As well as 2 professional articles. So depending on what field you're in, we get you started with your first 2 thought leadership articles. Because it's important to put your thoughts out there. Those of you, yes?
No, when you finish, I just want to ask a question.
All right, no problem. We'll talk afterwards. So the cost is $2,500 million. Right, we'll ask questions afterwards. $2,500 million. That's my number at the bottom there. You can save that. You can take a screenshot of this, and then you can get in touch with me afterwards. Okay? No question.
It's not a question.
All right, it's not a question. What is it?
I just want to say, this is a very good example of lead generation.
That's it.
Yeah.
I have to lead by example. Okay. Give value before you ask for anything in return. It would have been remiss of me to walk in here and say, hey guys, this is what I'm offering, just buy, and then I walk out. Because then you don't know whether I can actually do the job. Yes?
I was waiting for the but, 2,500 but for today. What's the...
The urgency. No, there's no urgency. There's no urgency. Not yet. At the next workshop, I'll have an urgent one. Okay? Now, I promised you that we need to talk about how recommendations work. I'm going to walk you through that process really quickly. Right? So you can scan this QR code to open up my LinkedIn profile for those of you who are already on LinkedIn. Or you can simply search for me, Dr. Mohammed Shehu, on LinkedIn. Okay? I want everybody to pull out your phones if you're on LinkedIn and just check that out real quick. Open up my profile. You should see that as soon as you log on. And then I want you to just click on the More button there, where that arrow is pointing. As I mentioned earlier on, recommendations are very important. And you need to know how to get into them and how to get people to request a recommendation from you. How to give and how to receive. Does everybody manage? Gentlemen in the back? You guys, you're on? Okay? So I'm going to go to the next slide now. I'm going to show you quickly how recommendations work on LinkedIn. So when you click on the More button there next to message, you should be able to see a few options here. Right? So, hold on. Back a little bit. Right. So, you can give kudos. You guys want to give me some kudos? I'll take kudos. Kudos would be great. You can request a recommendation. Right? Request a recommendation from someone specific. So, especially if you're job hunting, you request a recommendation from a boss, from all the people that you've worked with before. Are we together? Right? And then you can also recommend someone. Then the other options to unfollow, remove connection, and or block. Okay? So just click on recommend over there. For those of you who are on LinkedIn, again, you can just take a photo of this, take a screenshot. Yours doesn't have those options. Are we connected? Oh, you're only connected now. Right. Yeah. Yes, when we're connected, that's when you can recommend me. Because then otherwise people would just give you random recommendations. Okay? So, you then click on recommend, and then it will ask you how do you know the person that you're trying to recommend. And then you have some options here. So when you click on these 2 drop downs, you see a list of them. You can then state maybe you were a client of Dr. Mohammed, or you worked under Dr. Mohammed, or you mentored Dr. Mohammed. Right? So there's many different options for different relationships you can have with people. Right? And then you select what job you want to recommend them for, and then you click next. And when that happens, you then write the person you're recommending a glowing recommendation. How they helped you. So an example would be Mohammed was an eloquent speaker who spoke life into our personal brand. Also, he totally brought us food. So you can just put that in the recommendations. That's why nobody needs to tell you. Right. So you give a recommendation. How do you want to be the hype person for this person? Right? If you're looking for a job, how do you make them look good? The same way when you were applying to go to university, you had to get reference letters. Right. And it was a mission because you had to find someone who's going to write you a good reference letter. You couldn't take it to your boss that you hated or who hated you because of bad luck. Okay, so that's exactly how recommendations work on LinkedIn. Find the person who was happiest with your service and have them put that out to the world. Okay, that's how recommendations work. And the more recommendations that you pack up, the more you look like an expert to the world. Are we together on this? You guys understand how recommendations work? So hopefully by the end of this, you guys all will create LinkedIn accounts. Search for me. I'm happy to be the first connection you have on LinkedIn. I've always said people are sleeping on LinkedIn in this country. It's a huge platform with huge potential. And there's lots and lots of space for everybody to apply themselves. Yes?
So, what I just wanted to ask, the one thing is the connections, right? Obviously, that's a big part of LinkedIn is your connections.
Okay.
And I don't know, in the past it was that way. I don't know if it's still that way. I'm not that great with LinkedIn, obviously. That's why I'm here. But in the past it was like every time you connect with someone, then it sends out an email. I've connected with this person, I've connected with that person to your whole sort of. I know it's a setting on LinkedIn that you can just tune.
Yes.
But I mean, for everybody, for some people who don't know that, I mean, that's really highly annoying. If you're pushing, it's like you're not knowing that you're pushing all of this like LinkedIn connections and things like that on people that they don't want it. Like I don't want to know how many people you've connected with via email with 3,000 emails I get, how many people you connected with, for example. So in that way, when that happened, I wasn't like, on LinkedIn, I'm not a push person.
Right.
Or in social media, I'm not really, my personality is not a pushy type of person, I'm more a pulley type of person.
Okay.
If that makes sense? I don't know. So in terms of, if you're not that, like I love people and I'm working with people and problems with people, but it's sort of like a separate thing on social media.
Okay.
And pushing that on social media in the right way so that you don't annoy people by, you know, I want to help you, but now I'm sending you 6,000 emails about, you know, so I think that connection part, I don't know if that's, how do you fix that? And how do you push in the right way by not annoying people with your brand, but more like pulling them towards you, towards what you offer and what you stand for in a way. I don't know. Does that make sense?
So what's your name?
Ula.
Ula. What do you do, Ula?
I'm an engineer.
No, she's not shy all of a sudden. So Ula is an engineer, and her question is, how do you push your brand on social media without being too pushy?
Yeah.
And how do you attract people towards you and towards your brand? Okay, so you already answered the first part of your question about notifications. It's as simple as turning the setting off in your LinkedIn settings, right?
Okay.
You can turn it off so that people don't see every single notification you put out, or whether you switch jobs. That's completely in your control.
Okay.
As for the branding side of things, so on Thursday when we spoke at the Future Females event, what I mentioned was that on social media, number one, you need to be more social. Because when people talk about social media marketing, they focus on the marketing and they ignore the social. But you need to be social. You need to be social because when it comes to social media, the general rule is whisper, don't shout. Okay? Whisper, don't shout. When you're talking to your friends, you don't shout at them. I wouldn't be able to come up to you and say, hey! Hey, I've got social media service. Hey! You should totally buy it now! Now would be good. Would that make her buy my services? She would call the police on me. Right. So you need to whisper. When you talk to your friends, you talk to them in a nice, friendly, conversational voice. And so why would you think that your customers would respond to you constantly hitting them with a barrage of sales? Everybody's trying to make money, but you need to have a conversation with them first before you push the conversion. Okay? And so that applies with you as well when you're pushing your personal brand. And that's why I said earlier on, being a font of value. If what you're offering, if what you're saying, if what you're posting is valuable, it will never be pushing. Never. If you're trying genuinely to help people solve their problems, people will hang on to your every word. It will never come across as pushy. So rather than worrying about how other people are going to receive your message, worry about the value that you're giving them. And the rest will take care of itself. Yes?
Sorry, but does everybody who is on this network understand that? And how do I put my boundaries in place?
So she's asking, does everybody on LinkedIn understand this concept I've just explained? And how does she put your boundaries in place? So again, when it comes to LinkedIn, you connect with people. And the same way you connect with people that you want to hear from, you can disconnect from people that you don't want to hear from. Alright? So there was an example here. You see this right here? This is your best friend. That right there, that's your best friend. Remove connection. Anybody you don't want to hear from, anybody who's filling your feed with spam or unhelpful information, just remove connection. And they're gone. Yes?
Sorry, I have a question. What's the difference between unfollowing and removing?
Unfollow, so when you connect with people, again, it's a two-way thing. So you have access to their feed and they have access to yours. When you connect with someone, automatically you follow them. So you see their posts. But it is entirely possible for you to connect with someone and not necessarily see their posts. So you unfollow them, you don't see it, but they're still there, so they don't feel bad. Right? Sort of like that auntie that keeps sending you those messages in the morning, those good morning messages that you don't see because you blocked her. But if she calls you, you'll pick up, right? So you're still connected, you just don't like this. You don't engage, right? Any other questions? How much time do we have left?
7 minutes.
7 minutes. Okay, so we still have some time for some questions. Any other questions? Yes?
Can you just share that link with me
For the survey,
What if I was to see
the address. Okay, so I'm going to open that for you now. Back that one. For the survey, yes, and that's the link at the bottom there. So bit.ly/FFOT. Yes.
So like, if you, let's say your target audience doesn't spend time on the website, would you still advise on time?
What do you do?
Well, I'm starting something like a DIY kind of blog business.
Okay.
Maybe for women moms, and most of them are not on it. They are on Pinterest.
Okay. So that's where you need to be. They're on Facebook, they're on Pinterest, they're on Instagram.
Yeah.
And they'll watch YouTube videos.
Yes.
So you go where your target market is and where they spend time. The principles of personal branding apply regardless of what platform you're on. I need you to understand that, yeah? Be a font of value regardless of where you are, regardless of what you do. Be interested in people and their problems before you ask for them to give you profit, regardless of where you are and what you do. The principles don't change. Any other question? I think I saw a hand somewhere in the back. Okay.
What's your Instagram handle?
My Instagram handle, which one do you want?
The one that's relevant for Gary.
Right there. You can also go to @Mohammed Shield. That's fine. Yes? An Instagram handle. So that's your username on the website. So each of the websites, you can have a personalized URL at the end. So on Twitter, you can have an @ a handle. If your name is, for example, Ula, then it's @Ula. But I'm sure by now Ula is taken. So you can call yourself @Ula your surname or @Ula the engineer. That's how you differentiate yourself. And what I like doing is what I call username consolidation. So having one username across all platforms. If you search for me on any of those 4 platforms, using that handle, you will find me. It makes it easier for people to look for you online. Any other questions? Yes?
Okay, I'm in 2 different industries.
What industries are these?
Okay, I professionally work in IT networking, and I'm starting up my own social media management.
IT networking and social media management, okay?
It's 2 different things.
Not really, because I do both, but go on.
No. The reason why I'm saying it's 2 different industries is that at work, if I had to come out and say, this is what I do, it will be red.
It would be?
It will be sparks and fireworks.
Okay.
Not in a good way.
Not
So how would one? Because I'm still at a point where I need to decide which of the 2 I want to do.
full
Okay.
time. So how would one kind of manage that? And like she asked, on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a powerful tool that you can use to advertise or
Yes,
get
yes.
your brand out there.
Yes.
Now I'm skeptical with it because I'm not sure should I add it to my LinkedIn
Uh-huh.
to get it out there, because it's through LinkedIn that I got the job. So
Okay.
what now?
So her question is, she's got two different things that she's interested in. She works in IT networking and she wants to start up a social media management consultancy of sorts,
Yes.
right? But if she put that second one on her LinkedIn, there will be a problem in her workplace. So my first question would be, do you guys not have a sort of declaration? I think a lot of companies have that where you declare your interests or your businesses. So do you have that at your workplace currently?
Yeah, I do. I did speak to them about it,
Okay.
but it's more in line with what I do as well at work. So the conflict of interest will come in and
Okay, so it's a conflict of interest. It's not that your boss doesn't want.
Yeah, it's not really.
It's just conflict of interest between what you do at work and the clients you serve, and you want to offer something on the side.
Yes.
So thank you for that question. That's a very, very important question. Now, the first thing I would ask you is, which one pays the bills? The work.
Yes.
Which one are you interested in? The social media.
Yes.
Which one do you care about?
Both.
Currently?
Both.
Which one are you willing to sacrifice?
I can't sacrifice the one that pays the bills. So this is what I'm working towards, which kind of like is my passion.
Okay.
And this pays the bills.
That pays the bills. No, it's completely understandable. A lot of us right now are in that situation. You're doing something that pays the bills, but you want to pivot to something else.
Yes.
And you can't either because you don't have a startup capital, or you can't afford to be out of a job right now because you've got kids, you've got loans and debts to pay off, or because it will be seen as conflict of interest because you're going to be going into the same arena as what your current employer is doing. Now this is a moral question. It's a moral question. It depends on you. I can't pretend to have the answer to that. Ideally, I would say if you want to focus on the social media and you've got the means to sustain yourself for the first 6 months to a year, as you build up that, then go for what gives you joy. Go for what will grow you and where you will find growth. If you cannot afford to do that currently, then you need to buy your time. Or you need to find another way to sustain yourself as you embark on the entrepreneurial journey. And these are the things that Dell and Lauren trying to help women with every single day. How do you attain that financial freedom and start a business that fulfills you as a professional? Okay, so the other ones to ask. Yes?
I have a question. I saw some people on LinkedIn who are creating a profile for their company and
Yes,
not in
yes.
their own name.
Yes.
Is it really a good marketing way, or is it?
So the difference between a personal account is it's kind of like a Facebook page and your Facebook profile. Right? Your Facebook profile is for you as an individual, and your Facebook page is for a company. And the good thing about having a company page, even on LinkedIn, having a LinkedIn company page, is you get a little bit more capabilities. You can look at analytics, for example. You can garner a whole lot more followers. LinkedIn currently caps you at 15,000. I am at 11.5, somewhere there. Right? So I'm almost by cap. But if you have a company page, you can go beyond that. You can have as many people joining. And with a LinkedIn company page, you can also post jobs. So if you're hiring, other people can see that and you can apply for those jobs. Right? You can have a lot more information about where your headquarters are. It just allows you to brand yourself as a company. And you can connect the two, so you become an admin on your company page. Yes?
I see she's with her mic, so I'm going to be quick.
Okay. She's scary, isn't she?
I've got 3 businesses. All that the previous people said, I've got 3 businesses.
Okay.
Each one pays the bills, each one is important, and each one is currently on my list of getting bigger.
Okay.
Where do I put the priority? Must I put company LinkedIn pages? So this is who I am.
Yes.
This is my company.
Yes.
Can that be linked as well to me?
Yes. You can link all 3 company pages to you. You can become the admin of all of them and oversee them. It's entirely possible. And so the lady at the back there asked a question about if you've got 2 different brands. But you asked it from a personal branding point of view. So if you've got a company, for example, that does IT engineering, if that was your company, you can have one company page for that. And then you have another company page for the social media, which is separate from your personal account. Alright? So you can do that when it comes to company pages. But on your own personal branding, that's where you need to decide which one is going to be a priority. Do we have time for one more question? Yes? Ideally, they will be the same. Yeah, there really isn't much of a difference because both of them do the same thing. They tell the world what you're about in as short and pithy a sentence as possible. Okay. I think we can talk afterwards. Zadell is going to. But thank you guys so much.